Welcome to the 107th ever episode of The Next Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Kellz.
And today, folks, wowie, zowie. I started doing the news this morning stupidly because Kelly had already done it. But but by the time I was done, I thought it was going to be a light news week. And then there's like some pretty neat stuff in the news.
Yeah, there's nothing like huge going on this week as far as like brand new sun and moon info.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna take it back and do like some of the more kind of like esoteric news things.
Yeah, it's not like a
Pokemon.
super sexy week, but there's something for everybody this week.
It's kind of
Let's
fun.
put it that
It's
way.
kind of weird.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Nice.
But first of all, I digress. How is everyone's Poke Week going?
Mine's going all right. Been playing more Picross. That's about it.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Jimmy picked up Pokemon Picross at Worlds, and he's just been like
crushing it
Yeah,
since then. I imagine
we didn't talk about it much last time because the news was so heavy.
it was so real last week.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Picross is pretty cool. The game itself is pretty fun. It has a bunch of like arcadey style like Pokemon power-ups. Like every puzzle you make is a Pokemon, and each Pokemon gives you like a power-up that you can use in another puzzle. So that's pretty cool. Some like the formula of Picross games is pretty interesting. The tutorial's really good. It like gets you up to speed on like really like the deep mechanics of Picross, where it's like if it's this number in this row that's this long, you can safely fill in these spots every single time. And it's like, oh, okay. So you use all these like really like not janky, but this really like think 3 steps ahead techniques to like come up with the answers to a lot of the puzzles. And
So it kind of gives you a minesweeper feel, how you're like, okay, well, I understand if I click this, then that means that this and this is true.
yeah,
So it's kind of like that.
Definitely.
That seems pretty fun.
it's a lot of fun, and like it doesn't take very long to get to a point in the game where you can like play for the extended amount that you want to, because at the start you have an energy bar, and it's like it prevents you from playing any more than 100 moves in like a session, and then you have to wait a couple hours for it to recharge. But like the good thing about this game, I didn't know this because we were on the road when I first started playing it, but when I got home and on the Wi-Fi again, the shop where you can buy like the in-game currency, because it's free to play, it literally only allows you to buy 5,000 of the in-game currency, and then it just makes the game fully unlocked.
Like a regular game. Yeah,
Yeah, that amounts to $30. So
perfect.
yeah, literally, it's like you spend this much and you just pretty much paid for a 3DS game, and we like can't charge you anymore after that. And I think that's like a really cool, honest way of doing.
Yeah, leave it to Nintendo to be the not scary, like play to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's nice because like they don't have to do that. There's nothing saying that they have to do that, but like they do anyway because they don't want to rip you off.
Right.
And like Candy Crush, that's like spend more.
Yeah, it's pretty
Why
great.
not?
Or the Pokemon card game. Oh! But speaking of the Pokemon, that one fell apart.
You all right?
Speaking of the Pokemon card game, I've been playing the crap out of it, you guys.
Me too.
I've been playing it so much that I have like a pro deck in the online version of the game now.
Dang.
My deck is so good. I've been trading for pieces. The only thing I'm really missing right now are like a couple Versus Seekers, which are also increasingly becoming kind of a hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
And that Shaman EX that we saw
So
all over
often
Worlds.
in Worlds.
Which it doesn't even seem that good until you realize like how essential it is to the deck. But it's like you need 2 of them, and each one, like even if you're just like illegally buying the digital one on eBay, costs like $50 a piece.
Ugh.
And the real ones cost like $75 to $100.
Dang.
Yikes.
It's crazy. Card games are so expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the business has been around for so long.
Yeah,
so
I know.
it's so lucrative to make a card game because you literally print money.
You'd think it wouldn't be still so successful in a game like Pokemon where you can't even buy digital card packs.
Yeah.
You can't even do it. I think you can do it in Canada, and that's it.
Weird.
And I think it's like they're trying it out in Canada. I hope they implement it, because I would rather just do that than have to like order stuff that's like from far away. But I think maybe the reason they're holding back is just because it would change the demand. Because that's really the main way to get cards in the online version too, is to just like buy packs in real life and use the codes.
Right.
So I wonder if they're just worried that the physical game will just go away if they make it available online like that.
Yeah, I wonder.
But I always thought that was cool. But I don't know if Magic does this or not. And Hearthstone doesn't actually have real cards, does it?
No. Hearthstone's all digital.
That's so weird. yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been playing a bunch of that, and I've been like trying some VGC stuff. And I don't know if you guys already listened to it, but I totally interviewed Wolf Glick yesterday, the VGC Masters champion of 2016.
Man, it's a good interview.
It's
if
a good
you have
interview.
not, you should listen to that.
It's a good interview.
Cool.
The audio is not great because I'm a tool. But oh man, when you're hanging up with the Skype call with Wolf Glick and he's like, you know what? If you ever need like personal advice on VGC, just give me a call.
Dang.
I'm like, yo, I'll do that. No problem, Wolf. No problem, Wolfie.
You don't know what you got yourself into, buddy.
I'm gonna call you every day, brother.
I'm not going to spoil this interview, but like, I was so like, when I was just like listening to it, because I was in the room when Alex was talking to him, but I didn't really hear Wolf's side of the conversation until Alex like edited it. But there were like a couple moments where I'm like, man, he deserves to be champion. Like he's got such like a pro attitude about everything. It's really, and he's like a true competitor and like doesn't get down on the game. Like he just like works to try to make himself better. Really cool guy.
Yeah, I mean,
really cool.
I don't think he's gonna mind that I say this, but I asked him like, is there anything you don't want me to like talk about? And he was like, if we could just keep like talking smack to a minimum, that'd be great. Like I just want to keep it like above board and cool.
That gives you like an idea of the cool guy he is.
Like he doesn't want to like talk smack on anyone or anything like in some way because that's how it is. He's just a winner.
Yeah,
love that.
That's great.
Yeah, it's tight. But speaking of things that are tight.
Nuh-uh. You didn't even ask me how my Poke Week went.
Dang.
How did your Poke Week go? How did it go?
Okay, so I was playing. Oftentimes when I walk Wallace, we go on this little route that has a couple Pokemon Go stops.
Oh, I forgot about this.
And I had this egg, right? It was a 10K egg, and my last 3 10K eggs, kid you not, have been Scythers, which are available at a park very close to my house. So it's kind of a moot point on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been hoping for so long to either get a Lapras or a Snorlax out of an egg. And so I was walking my dog, and there was like 0.2 kilometers left in this 10K egg. And suddenly in my mind, I just got like a flash of me rolling this big egg along the sidewalk. Like, come on, baby, you can hatch. And then I kid you not, 10 minutes later, it hatched into a Snorlax that was 1600. And I like boosted him up all the way with my Stardust.
Wow.
Now he's like a 1950 CP Snorlax, and he's my boy. And I named him Giga Bowser. And that's my Poke Week. Also, I 4-starred the Trainer Challenge like literally moments before we started this podcast. And I got a bunch of booster packs on the TCG Online. So
Damn.
there.
Well, there you go. Boom.
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 You had a bigger Poke Week than I even realized. I thought you were just like, yeah, I'm totally into the card game too.
Nah, I got my Snorlax. I'm very happy. Now I just need my Lapras. But we'll see.
Apparently you can just catch Lapras.
Yeah, I've never run across one. You can catch Snorlax too, but like they don't spawn off.
Yeah, I've never run across one. I guess that makes sense. But speaking of things that make sense, let's jump into the news. You know, they say that you should never give up on yourself first, but even the greats make mistakes sometimes, guys.
Fantastic.
I'll clean it up. I'll do better. Maybe we'll put out a call for more stingers. You know what? Let's do it. More stingers, please.
Great.
Yes.
Great call.
More stingers.
Please.
Ring it out from the towers. All right. Let's jump into the news.
Yeah.
For reals.
Yeah.
Some distribution events were announced for Sun and Moon in Japan. Some. It's weird. The Sun and Moon World's Fastest Capture Guide drops on November 28th, and it comes with a QR code that lets you quickly find Togedemaru in the wild. I do not know what the World's Fastest Capture Guide actually is, but it comes with a QR code that you scan into the game, and then
What's
you...
that?
What?
It's just like a...
You want to spend some more time talking about my gross burp?
You just rolled right past it.
Yeah.
I figured that we should
I'm
at
a
least
pro.
address it.
I'm a pro. All right. So Togedemaru, he's the like spike-headed Pikachu clone guy
Little hedgy.
from Sun and Moon. He looks really
boy.
cute. I don't really know what the verbiage "quickly find him in the wild" actually means, but he's not alone. Also, certain Moncale Get figures, which are like a
merch brand.
yeah, it's like a sort of like line of like little Pokemon figures that come on bases and like stand up. They're gonna have similar QR codes for finding Pokemon quickly in the wild. That same verbiage again. And I'm not sure about the United States version of this, but the Sun and Moon Guide also comes with a QR code for a gold bottle cap. And the verbiage for that actually confirms that gold bottle caps max out an IV. So that's real.
Oh,
Tight.
nice.
Well, that's awesome.
So-
Well, what do you think? I personally thought that the QR code for like quickly finding a Pokemon in the wild might create a swarm of that Pokemon somewhere.
Yeah, something like that. I don't want to talk about it too much because we have some more stuff to talk about with regard to that in the next segment.
Ooh.
But like that's pretty dope. Like it seems like a new thing to me. It seems like a new sort of mechanic. And
But it's cool that the QR codes have multiple functions.
yeah, it creates a lot of questions.
with this.
So we're gonna see what that is. But I am like, this is the first like official, actual, real, definite, like written down confirmation of the IV thing. Like we had that video last week or whatever, but this is a lot more like, this one's gonna max out your IVs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just just there. It's true. Also, the Unova Classic was also held last week. It was really weird. It has no megas, which was expected, and all Pokemon up to Gen 5 minus the crazy legendary, buff guys. But the weird thing was that it was in triple battle format, which I guess is part of Gen 5, but it's still weird that it was triple battle. Everybody who entered that, I don't even know anything about how triple battle like works on a high level. I mean, I understand the idea behind it, but it seems unfair that you can like turn and attack in one turn. Doesn't it?
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Oh no, isn't that rotation battle?
Oh, triple battle's just 3 guys out?
Yeah, triple is just 3 side by side.
Even weirder. All right. Everyone who entered gets a level 35 Darmanitan modeled after N's Darmanitan. It has Zen mode as its ability, which is the better, or not, maybe not the better, but the cooler ability that Darmanitan has.
Yeah.
It also has Thrash, Belly Drum, Flare Blitz, and Hammer Arm. If you really want to, go ham with Darmanitan, that's the one to go with.
Darmanitan.
But doesn't Belly Drum and Zen mode?
Yeah,
that, like,
I was just going to say that sounds like a very bad combination.
Isn't that like counterintuitive? Because doesn't Zen mode make you like a special?
It does.
So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Especially because he doesn't have any special move. Whatever.
Does he have a citrus berry?
That's a great question. It should. That makes sense. But then wouldn't you still put a special move on him? Whatever.
I don't know.
In lighter news, a German streamer with a channel called Pokémon Challenges. Have you heard this story yet?
I haven't, no.
He finally completed his Ratatta only permadeath run of Fire Red, which means, if you're not clear on what that means, the only Pokemon that he used the entire game is Ratatta.
A single Ratatta?
A single Ratatta. And every time that he died, he would start the game over.
Dang.
So he did this after like a month and a half at least of trying. He lost to Bruno and Agatha twice.
Oh.
Each loss cost him 19 hours of playtime.
Oh.
But he eventually was able to adapt to their strats, and he used a substitute to get through it, because the problem with Bruno is that you just get swatted. You just get like swatted by Bruno.
And I feel like Agatha would be, you can't really touch her. You'd have to have a specific move ready for Agatha.
Exactly. So he used substitute to get through somehow. I still don't know what he did to fight Agatha, but I'm sure that Ratatta can learn something. Now he's moved on though. First of all, somebody asked him if he like did it in honor of youngster Joey, and he was like, well, if anything, his Rattatta's not in the top percentage anymore, so maybe he'll give me a call.
Great.
But don't worry, he's moved on now to his permadeath run of Platinum, and the only Pokemon that he's going to be using this time is Smeargle.
Huh.
Great.
So good luck, man. Yeah, good luck, brother.
Check coming up with a strat.
Yeah, Pokemon Challenges on Twitch. Go check them out. Also, this is kind of just like, we're at least acknowledging this. More like, I don't know, this is kind of like sad news. The Second Chance Mew event also happened this week. It ends today, aka Wednesday, but that's
So it
just the day that we're
2 days ago.
So if you're listening to this, it ended 2 days ago. Hopefully you got your code in the Trainer Club newsletter. If you didn't get Mew already, because he's gone now. But the reason that I mentioned this is because if you are a smart boy, you will go follow me or Kelly on Twitter. Follow us both, because sometimes one of us does it or the other one does it. People are always sending us their codes for these Pokemon. For Arceus, anytime there's like a code, people send us this code. And no joke, like, people are like, thank you so much. I live somewhere where it's so hard for me to get these, and this is the first time I've ever gotten an event Pokemon. So please follow us. I retweeted about 15 Arceuses today already. So make it your business. Make it your business to go get on there.
Yeah.
Hashtag make it your business.
Hashtag make it ya business.
Dexcast homework, try and put that Italian accent in the spelling.
But also know that those codes are first come, first serve, and if you don't,
don't
miss
rage.
it, if you miss it, I'm sorry, but I can't just like have somebody give me another one
Yeah,
to
don't
specifically
rage.
reserve for you.
Yeah.
Don't rage. Just know that it happens sometimes, and it's possible that you'll get one.
Hashtag make it your calmness.
Make it your calmness. Make it your calmness. Anyway, Mystery Gift Victini is also now currently available in Europe and Australia as of this recording. It's going to be available till September 24th. There is a North American version of this event that is also happening, and it's not available right now, but it should be up by the time the podcast airs. So if you're in North America, at least go check. And if you're in Europe or Australia, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Go get that Victini, bro. He's the Pokemon of victory. You win
Yeah.
if you have Victini. Don't you know that? It's crazy.
Yep.
Some even sadder news that also ends in a message. A 29-year-old woman was hit by a car on her bike and she was killed while crossing the street in Japan because the driver was playing Pokemon Go.
Stop
Don't
that.
do that.
Yeah.
You are ruining it for people.
Ooh.
Please don't do that because you are literally taking someone else's lives in your hands. Pokemon Go players.
If you're gonna do that, just take the bus.
Yeah, why not? It's so easy. You go slow, you'll hatch eggs. It's better. Or the train, the BART. You live in San Fran, probably.
Number one,
Statistically.
right now, you literally have to lie to the app if you're driving and playing Pokemon Go because it has a speed tracker that says like, "Hey,
Yeah.
slow down. Are you
Yeah.
driving?"
So not only are you already an awful could be murderer, you're also a liar. So handle it.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Even if you think it's safe. You know what? Even if you think that it's safe and that you're the one, you might not be.
Yeah.
I got in an accident because I was texting and driving because I was stupid and I thought that I could do it, but I couldn't, and so I don't.
Hashtag Pokemon Go for a walk, or hashtag Pokemon Go as a passenger. But in lighter news, Eevee plushies were added to the Build-A-Bear workshop in addition to the Pikachus that they already have at Build-A-Bear. Eevee comes with a cape as one option for his outfit, and with a Pokemon onesie as his other outfit. Both are very silly, and you might still be able to grab one of these. I mean, granted, this news is being reported 2 days in the past, at the very best. But remember, if you are listening to this on Saturday, you can get this podcast 1 day earlier by going to our actual podcast feed on iTunes or wherever. And don't give me that crap about having a droid and not being able to listen to podcasts, because I'll tell you what. There's a million ways to listen to podcasts.
Literally just go to the Google
today.
Play Store, search the word podcast. You're welcome. Done.
You can I'll even give you a recommendation. Use Podbay.
Podcast Addict is mine.
Yeah, that's another excellent one. It's a great one.
That's already 2 more suggestions than you gave yourself by
That's
not.
that's
doing it.
more options. That's more options for podcasts than there are on the iPhone, probably.
Done.
All right.
In fact, twice as many, I would venture.
Well, I don't know. There's probably some third party
yeah.
ones. I'm not going to say that, but it's probably true.
You get the gist of what we're saying.
You get what we're saying. You might be able to get this Eevee in real life if you go to a brick and mortar Build-A-Bear workshop, if you're lucky. But he's beyond sold out online.
It sold out within hours.
He sold out in the year 1993.
It sold out before most news sites reported
when they
it.
first released Pokemon for the
Because
Game Boy.
Everyone loves Pokemon now again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is literally so crazy. But yeah, that's Eevee. Go get him if you can. Next, I'm going to give you some sort of behind the scenes news about Pokemon Go. So if you are not into this sort of thing, just skip forward a little bit. It's not super spoilery, but we're going to be talking about data mining in Pokemon Go a little bit because it's such an exciting prospect that I'm hearing right now. And I know that a lot of people are not so hot on this game. So I'm trying to give you reasons to care, guys. The most recent update of Pokemon Go has been data mined, and something called the Pokemon Buddy system was uncovered. It seems to use something similar to the system used to hatch eggs, but it will instead reward your Pokemon Buddy with candies.
Oh.
This Pokemon Buddy is going to appear physically next to your avatar, which is ironic Because for all the hate Pokemon Go is getting, this is the only place that you can literally go to get your number one dream back, which is Pokemon following you around again, just like they did in Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Remember when they did that in literally the second Pokemon game ever created in Pokemon Yellow?
Yeah.
And they just haven't done it in any other ones aside from Heart Gold and Soul Silver?
Technically, Pokemon Blue was the second Pokemon game ever created.
Ugh.
And then they made Pokemon Yellow for Western audiences as the second installment.
Please.
Who are you being?
Who am I being?
Yeah.
Everybody
Everyone, probably.
who's ever tweeted at us.
Everyone who is muted on
no.
everyone who is muted on my Twitter.
Yes, that's more accurate.
Hashtag mute boys. The last thing that was supposed to be the last news story because it's really exciting and like that's totally crazy that Pokemon Go is going to let you have a thing that follows you around and get candies. I actually really like that idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's super helpful too for the ones that are like really, really hard to evolve.
Yeah, we're all
I'm
like
gonna have my
100%
Magikarp
on
just
board.
like bopping around behind me the whole time.
It's also a great thing to do like with a fully evolved Pokemon
Yeah.
to get some candy for that guy to get him to be a big boy.
That's great. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually going to come out, but it's in the code. So don't take it as news so much as a very convincing rumor.
Aruma.
Okay? Hashtag okay.
Hashtag okay.
If you're okay with that.
I am.
But then right before we started recording, I got this sick nugget of news. So I had to add it right on the end. Finally, the Pokemon Center just unveiled a new line of merchandise called Original Pixels, which features not the sprites that you see when you fight Pokemon, okay, from the Game Boy game, but the ones that appear next to the Pokemon on your menu
party.
screen. The tiny, like the one where it's like there's a Pikachu one, but then there's like a Rhydon one that applies to like
And they like
half the Pokemon in the
wiggle
game.
their
Right.
arms a little bit.
Yeah, it's those sprites, and the main one that's featured on most of the stuff is the Pikachu one. There's like T-shirt with like that Pikachu on a gray shirt in black and white, and then on the back is like all the other ones in a line down the middle of the shirt. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good line.
Yeah, there's also socks that have the sprites on them that
The
are like.
socks are great.
I got to get those socks if they're not like schoolgirl Japanese socks, which they might be.
I
judging by
really
the
want the
picture.
socks as well.
Yeah,
They
the
look
socks look
fantastic.
dope.
They're one size adult.
Yeah, there's also a mug, and there's also the mug is cool. I will buy every mug that I can see, as long as it's. I don't really like weirdly shaped mugs so much. I'm realizing I like the Pokemon mug because it's like a little smaller, but a lot of the times the mugs are just like it's too much girth on the like specialty mug.
Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Like whenever there's like a nice mug with a cool picture on it, they like tend to make the mug physically larger so there can be a cooler picture. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that because then there's too much pressure on me to drink like that much coffee, and I'm like, all right, I'm out. But there's also the very last thing on this in this line is a Pikachu plushie that's the shape of the Pikachu like sprite, but on the back it's like all the Pokemon in like a tessellation. It's really cool. So I might buy those socks depending, because I now have like a good collection of Pokemon socks going. Ever since I bought my Mew socks and my limited edition 2016 World socks. So now I'm pretty into the socks. But that's the news, guys. We made it. 23 minutes. That's all it took.
And I didn't even make it without putting things in my cart on PokemonCenter.com.
What did you put in there?
I put 2 pairs of socks, one for you and one for me, and then the 2-pack, the Whimsicott and the substitute pin.
Oh my god, because I got you the Destiny? Oh, look at us. We're good.
Aw, we buy each other things.
We buy each other things. I bought Kelly the dopest Destiny sweater of
It's
all time,
the
you guys.
Dopest.
It's like an 80s like fashionista like
I wore it in the last episode of the
oh
Dex.
god,
if you
it's so
saw
cool.
it.
Yeah, go watch
It's
the
so
Beedrill
cool.
episode. So dope. Also the Beedrill episode, pretty good episode of the Dex, just saying.
I'm just saying though, I bought 2 pairs of these socks, and so we can't get them mixed up.
That's fine. Mine are going to be the stinky ones that I wear on my feet every day, and yours are going to be
I wasn't
the ones.
gonna say that, but I was gonna say something along the lines of your socks get worn out faster than mine.
Uh-huh.
So
I wonder why. Mystery.
I'm just not as sweaty of a foot.
Also, shout outs to Ego Raptor for the extra attention that our Beedrill video is probably getting. For just putting Beedrill back on the map. Hey, Jimmy. Real quick, I just wanted to remind you about Mega Beedrill. He exists.
Oh,
Yeah.
think about that.
Yo, this video already has 25k views, guys.
Nice.
That's pretty good. That's called the Ego Raptor bump. If you are a Pokemon and you show up on Game Grumps, your SEO goes through the roof, you guys.
Oh, but now I need $12 more in order to get free shipping.
Okay, well, I guess you're gonna have to get me the mug too.
What?
It's unfortunate, but I think you're gonna have
what
to get.
about little Pikachu dressed up as Mega Altaria or something?
What? We can get that anywhere.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, that's the news.
Right.
Pretty good news. Let's jump into just straight in because I want to talk about this. We got into it a little bit at the beginning, but we're gonna have a little brief discussment. The discussment does not need a new stinger. I love the discussment stinger. I know exactly how it's going to sound every time. I think you know what it is. I think it's just because I don't commit to one on the news one because there's so many funny ones.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what tone I'm going for at the beginning. Sometimes right after I say it, Pro Jared screams into your ears. Sometimes it goes boodadip, 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 boop. And then I lost a drive that had a bunch of the other ones on it. So hashtag resend those stingers. And maybe, you know what? Don't resend them. Send a new one. If you made one and you want to get it back on, send a new one because I want.
Yeah. This is 2016. Almost 2017. We're closer to 2017.
We're on the other side of a lunchcast already, you guys.
Yeah, let's get some hashtag new stings.
We're only 93 episodes away from the next one.
New stings for Beedrill.
New stings. The numeral 4 Beedrill.
Yes.
Hashtag.
New stings for Beedrill.
Hashtag Jimmy Beedrill. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
He's gonna hate that. He's gonna hate that.
Yeah.
All right. Discussment. So this weird distribution news with the QR codes and whatnot seems pretty microtransaction-y and kind of gimmicky than it has been in other generations. So my question is this: do you think this means that there's going to be constant giveaways and more like pay to win? Maybe not pay to win, but pay to like get the dope premium cosmetic stuff. Do you think that's going to be a thing, or do you think it's just more of an exciting hint at how much more online friendly Pokemon's going to be? Like, does it just mean that there's going to be much more lively community around the game, like much more like something along the lines of like an MMO or like something, maybe not an MMO, but maybe more like Destiny type event stuff, just kind of like what's going on? I know that stuff is technically happening right now in the game. You know what I mean? There's always like a little tournament going on or something's happening. And this year there's been a legendary or two every month. But it would be better if there was like stuff going on all the time. Like, hey, it's the festival of this. Like this week, like, you know, like if you go online and do this thing, whatever, you get a QR code. Like, how cool would it be if it was like, if you go do this like quiz at this zoo website, or you like visit one of these 50 zoos, you get a QR code for a Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that is cool. But I don't want it to be like buy Pokemon cards or else you don't get Black Mewtwo.
Right.
That would be crappy.
That would.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's not quite I feel like it's not quite that big of a deal. Like, I didn't get the feeling when I read this news post that it was like, oh, well, now we have to buy it to get Togedt and Mario. I'm sure it'll be somewhere else. It'll just be, like I said, I thought that maybe the QR codes were kind of like cause a swarm, make it easier to catch this particular one.
But even if it's just making it easier to catch, right? If you have the money to pay for the toy, you get the other thing faster. It makes you better than the other person playing the game.
Sure, but like, does it really matter?
I don't know. I personally, for me, I don't care. I love stuff like this. I'm the guy who goes and buys all this crap. You know, I'm that guy. I'm the whale. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard that term before about how like an iPhone game doesn't succeed because everybody spends money on it? Like most people spend like under $5 on a game that's free to play, but like there's some people who drop like $300 on it. Yeah. I don't think I've ever dropped $300 on an iPhone game, except maybe Pokemon Go. I don't know where I'm at on that. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm that guy. I'm the guy who has no problem spending it if I want to play it. Because then I'm valuing it the same as any game that I want to play. Like, I don't care if it's simplistic. I'm having fun doing it, so I'm going to do it. I'll go spend money on a real video game. Who cares?
Here's what I think. I feel like the QR codes are more of like a little bonus guide than it is like a monetary thing.
Sure, but it's definitely included with the guide to get more people to buy the guide. It's like it's not arguable. Like that's why it's there.
Is that inherently wrong?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't have a problem with it personally, but I know that like it is kind of like changing the vibe of Pokemon, right? Like
I don't have a problem with it.
You don't usually have to pay for the giveaways that Pokemon does. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but I don't think that this. I feel like this is less of a giveaway and more of a an ordering bonus. Like
Sure, but
If you
I'm just
order the
saying,
guide,
I'm
you
just
get this
saying,
bonus
I'm just saying, it's one step away, right? Like it's
Yeah.
one step away from being like buy this special edition of the new movie on Blu-ray and get the legendary from the movie and it's shiny. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I guess
It's
you
one
could
step
say
away from
that they have done stuff like this before. What with like
Tickets.
Pokemon cards being distributed for movie releases, such as the e-reader Entei and the Ancient Mew.
It's true. It's true. It's just not really been done in a way that's like aligned with the branding of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no,
this-
I definitely understand.
yeah, it's just weird. But on the flip side of that, right? Like, there's awesome things that this could be.
Yes.
Imagine later when Pokemon Go is out and Sun and Moon are out, and you can like, you know, get your QR code for the Pokemon that you got in Pokemon Go and just like send that Pokemon straight into Sun and Moon. Like, imagine if you can do that. Or imagine if you catch a Pokemon in Pokemon Go, it's easier to catch in Sun and Moon.
Right.
I feel like there's going to be some direct transfer because, like, why else would appraisal be implemented into Pokemon Go?
Well, because there's
I mean, like, there's inherent value to like knowing which ones are stronger, of course, but like that seems like something very specific and very IV centric.
Well, I
and
also
so it
think they're going
seems
to
like
add more battling to Pokemon Go. I
Yeah.
think like it's going to be more important to Pokemon Go soon.
It just seems so close to the IV mechanic in the game that I feel like it is almost implied that that's going to have some sort of like crossover.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah, I'm not like against that at all. I think that's an awesome idea. And I'm like totally into like, you know, sending, you know, Big Baby my like.
It's kind of like the evolution of the Pokewalker a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like you're just, instead of like bringing a Pokemon with you, you're going to find one out there and bringing it back to your game. That'd be a cool way to get like a non-Alolan guys too. You know what I mean? Like, because they already confirmed that like non-Alolan Vulpix, for example, is not going to be in Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if you can just, instead of having to transfer him from just older games, what if you can just do it from Pokemon Go?
Neat.
That'd be dope, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just seems a little weird. Like, I have been very, very excited by every like major change that I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I think I'm still excited about. Like the idea of like them being like, "Yo, remember when?" I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was some like thing that had to do with street passing where it was like you get the like Eon ticket and it just like spread like a virus. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Latios.
Yeah, how tight was that? Right,
That was
like,
very cool.
That was like a really cool thing. We were all like, "I wonder when I'm gonna get my Eon ticket."
Yeah.
And like we're going to a con, like maybe we'll get the Eon ticket. Back when Mario Tennis, I know I'm the only person who loves Mario Tennis this much, but the Mario Tennis on 3DS is baller as hell. First of all,
Okay.
super baller, great game. Everybody should buy that game.
Sure.
But when it came out, they did this giant giveaway. And I don't know how much. I don't remember how much of it was actually done in US. I think it might have just been UK or something like that, mostly, or Europe. But they were putting out all these different Yoshis. I'm sure some of you guys remember this, right? You remember that they were putting out like, there was like 6 or 7 different colored Yoshis that you could get.
I remember this only because you were so into getting them all.
Yeah. Imagine, okay, like I said, I'm the only person who loves Pokemon Mario Tennis that much. You know what I mean? And for me, it was awesome to like, people were like, "Oh my God, they've been saying that there's like this QR code for the white Yoshi at this one store, but like nobody knows. If somebody could get a picture of it, like let's get it so that we can get it." Because it was all QR codes.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And so it was exciting to be like, there's a QR code somewhere out in the real world that I need to go get for everyone, for every single person playing. I'm going to be the person who's going to like go take this picture. Or imagine like at a Pokemon Go, because you know how Ingress has like events
Yes.
that like they like run themselves where you like go and meet up with other Ingress players and like there's like a big event that happens in the game as well.
Right.
AKA Times Square Mewtwo promise from the trailer.
Uh-huh.
Like imagine if also there, like low key, there's like 25 QR codes just like hidden around.
Oh, wow.
How cool that would be.
That would be cool.
Yeah. And or like some of them are at this version of the event in New York, some of them are at this version of the event in LA, some of them are at this version of the event in frickin' Paris or Tokyo or wherever. Or like, sorry, there's no event here, but like our street team went out and put like some QR codes up in your city, so go find them. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely some possibility there.
It's dope. But that's it. I mean, like, I think we're all like pretty in favor of this.
Yeah,
right?
I've been mostly quiet because I don't really have anything to add that you guys haven't already said, you know?
Right.
I personally think that it's not a big deal. I don't consider it to be like a weird microtransaction-y thing. I just consider it to be like an extra bonus. And it doesn't seem like, I mean, like even if Togedemaru is easier to catch when you have the QR code, it doesn't guarantee that you are gonna catch it and somebody else won't.
But surely you can see how there is a slippery slope.
I see it, but I think that the difference is negligible.
Yeah.
Yeah, my qualms would come if there was an actual divide, such as you can't get, I don't know,
Caps.
the Sun and Moon third legendary unless you also purchase this
soda
third party. Yeah,
Red
that's a really like low cost example, but like a player's guide or something that could be pretty pricey, like 20, $30 for an extra
there's just
Pokemon.
like a secret legendary for everybody who buys this like Nike shoe.
Yeah, like if I'm already into the product, then it wouldn't really bother me. But
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like the same thing as like buying Crackdown, like every single person did on the planet. For Halo.
For Halo, yeah.
It was Halo. It was the Halo 3 beta.
Mm-hmm.
It was not even the game. It was nothing. It was the Halo 3 beta. Same thing with Dragon Quest 8 for Final Fantasy 12, though that's ironic because Dragon Quest 8 is one of the best video games ever made. So lucky you if that's what you did. And then there was one more. It was Zone of the Enders was another really popular one because it had the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo on it. That was like I mean, now I'm dating myself a little bit, but like that was so crazy how much I wanted Zone of the Enders all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean, it's just something that I'm seeing. I don't think it's something that I'm accusing Pokemon of doing. I mean, we were just talking about how Pokemon Picross is like super not scary about this type of thing.
Right, yeah.
But I wonder what it's going to be. Or I wonder if there's going to be like a free version, like a slot machine that you can like get a random QR code.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like a free to play like once per day kind of thing, so you can't farm it out.
Or like how Overwatch, just like if you play a lot, you'll get free stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's dope. But I don't know. I even that I think is like not in line with Pokemon's branding. But I'm not like, aww. I'm not like sad about this. It's just something that is new for Pokemon, so I just wanted to talk about it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the discussment. And I think we've done enough opining for the day.
Sure.
So why don't we let you guys opine as part of our Fanswers segment.
Fanswers, da 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 da. Fanswers, da 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 da.
Great.
Is that another one that we're not changing?
This one is the best one.
Fanswers will endure to the end of time.
If I stop doing the decks and start an entirely new podcast with fan mail in it, I will continue to use the Fanswers jingle.
The only time that we should replace the Fanswers jingle is if we record a higher quality version of the exact same thing.
Yeah. Or if like Michael Barrity like turns out to be like some sort of awful criminal or something.
Right, and we have to wipe
Probably not.
our connection to him off.
Yeah, but the good news is
very unlikely.
But the good news is that dude, one of the nicest, best dudes who's ever lived. So don't even
probably not going to happen. Is what we're saying.
So don't even trip, you guys. But if you have never listened to this before, first of all, thank you for taking a chance on us. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But second of all, this is the part of the show where we turn to you guys and read what you guys have to say. So in response to our discussment, in response to the news, in response to an offhand thing I said 2.5 years ago, mega Pokemon ideas, whatever you guys want to send me, send it along. Actually, no, that's outdated. Alolan form ideas, send it my way.
What's a mega?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure anybody knows anymore. But if you do want to send this in, it's easy to do. Easy to remember email address. It's thedexcast@gmail.com. That's thedexcast@gmail.com. thedexcast@gmail.com. And we'll read your response on the next show, just like I'm going to read these responses right now. So this is from Chris J. And it's called, I found something really amazing. Guys, oh man, you don't even realize. On the Nintendo YouTube channel, the Pokemon World Championship Nintendo Minute video, you're at 428 in the video.
Whoa! Wait,
Wait
really?
a minute.
Crazy. I didn't know that. Anywho, how's it going, brothers and sisters? Brothers and sister? Can you believe that over 50 Pokemon, including the Alolan forms, have been revealed for Sun and Moon? That's nuts to me. I really feel like there are going to be well over 100 new Pokemon in this gen without counting the Alolan forms. Thoughts? I agree with you.
I agree as well.
I mean, they really did reveal a lot for X and Y as well, but this is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It has a different feel to me. What are you doing?
I'm looking up the Nintendo Minute video.
Okay, you're going to go find it?
428.
428.
I might look
hold
that up
on.
right now as well.
All right, let's see. Let's pause.
425, 26, 27, 28.
No. That's, what do you, what?
This is the Nintendo Minute World Championship video.
There was a Pokemon Center. We went on a shopping spree.
Let me see.
I definitely saw Kit and Krista around during the event, but I don't know.
I don't see us, but we were sitting right there.
Yeah, maybe it needs to be on a bigger screen, but this is enough time spent listening to something that nobody can see. I'm definitely sure that there are no HMs in Gen 7, although I initially thought that the Rotom Pokedex was going to be the substitute for them, like after each gym or now island leader, you would gain a new ability for your travels. Since that is no longer the case, how do you think it will be different other than the quest log that Alex mentioned, what I do hope for? Honestly, I think that's exactly what the Rotom Dex is going to be. I think that's like why it's the Rotom Dex.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you're asking me about HMs, I think it's going to be the Poke Ride.
Yeah, I don't see us getting HMs in any major capacity. Not as like HMs. I think we might still have some of the moves, but like I think it's just gonna be Poke Ride.
I did see us in the video, actually.
Are we just really small?
I found it.
For
Oh,
one
no,
second?
it just, the camera like pans to us and we're in the crowd like clapping for the champion. Like
Great.
very small in the corner.
Great.
Very, very funny.
If you're just talking about HMs, I'm hoping like my perfect implementation of this is like Uber. Like I want it to be on the Rotom Pokedex, like an app on there, and you like use it, and then like a rando, it tells you like,
And it's like, your
You're gonna
Charizard
meet-
is on the way.
it's like you're gonna meet Barry the Charizard, and he shows up and he's just like, "Rawr," and then you like go, and then he rates you on whether or not you have the same political beliefs as him.
And you give him 5 stars
Yeah.
if he has gum.
Yeah, he has like a little water bottle for you, like a smaller than normal water bottle, waiting for you to hand you.
Yo, real talk though, if we get this Poke Ride system, if like you could pay a certain amount and the Poke Ride person also just like heals up your party or something.
Dude,
Oh, that'd be great.
money.
Just saying.
That'd be
Or
dope.
like you can order a Chansey to like come on over
Yeah.
and like help you.
Yeah, or you can order like,
Be like Grubhub, but
That would be so cool.
yeah, you can order like some like lava cookies from like that great lava cookie place on the Big Island.
yep.
Yeah. Anyway, last thought. How do you think Zygarde will be implemented into Sun and Moon? Personally, I think he'll be part of either the post-game story where we hopefully go back to Kalos a few years later like Black and White 2, or some sort of DLC. I'm thinking the third game in Gen 7, Eclipse, might be a DLC instead of a completely new game unto itself. Also, more region forms could be overtime DLC. One example, Kalos Pokemon having Kanto versions? More thoughts? Stay frosty, Chris J.
I have a theory about Zygarde.
Again?
I think that Zygarde is going to be some part of the main plot, and is going to be a roaming legendary. That's what I think he's going to be, because that's kind of how he is in the anime, and that's kind of how it seems to be like they're presenting him as the Zygarde dog. So I think that's, well, I mean, like I guess he's not really like that specifically in the anime, but like the dog form of Zygarde is the one that they're kind of like focusing on so far a little bit. They're like, oh yeah, the dog version, like what is this new version? And they haven't really shown a lot of like Zygarde core and Zygarde 50%, and they've shown a little bit of Zygarde complete form, perfect form, but like I feel like the Zygarde dog is gonna make multiple appearances around
Sure.
in like major plot points, and then we're gonna finally
That's
get like Zygarde.
Maybe you have
perfect
to
form.
catch him and then you have to go get the rest of the cores.
Yeah.
I personally, I think, well, maybe either that or maybe you have to follow him to the different cores.
Maybe. Yeah.
That would be so dope.
Personally, I think that Zygarde's going to take a backseat and be post-game content like Delta episode.
That's exactly what I think it's going to be like.
I
think it's
don't
gonna-
see him making his way into the storyline with Lunala and Solgaleo. It just doesn't
Right.
really like line up to me.
Like, why would they add more Pokemon for him to interact with?
right.
Yeah, it's weird. But that doesn't mean everybody agrees with us. So here comes an email from Roughneck Breno. Zygarde cores will take us back to Kalos. Hello, Alex, Kellz, and Jimmy. In the last episode of the pod... You know what? I want to celebrate this moment just for a second.
Yep.
Because this is an intro to an email that doesn't imply that you might not be here.
Fantastic.
Yay!
Welcome back.
I'm officially home.
In the last episode of the Dex podcast, you read an email showing very good evidence about a return to Kalos and Sun and Moon tied to Zygarde. Then I realized a lot of people missed out on a very important detail about Perfect Zygarde. According to its description in the website, its wings and tail each have their own core, a total of 5 cores. Spoiler alert. The anime showed us that only 1 core is needed to get the 50% form, which only confirms 1 core, maybe 2 if the anime is accurate in the Kalos region. Maybe the other cores are in Alola and they need the Kalos ones to be complete. Long story short, at least 1 core is in Kalos and it forces us to go back there. With lots of dark type love, Roughneck Breno, hashtag sorry for the long email. It wasn't a long email. Team,
long
hashtag Team Rowlet, hashtag Team Mystic, hashtag Latersman. I like this guy.
Yeah. Solid email.
I agree with this. I think this is good evidence in favor of the fact that Zygarde will take us to Kalos. I still don't think we're going to go there, but I think if we're making an argument, this is a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
statement on that.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Breno. Keep banging those trash cans.
What?
What?
What do you call it when you're going around and you're a detective and you're like rustling the bushes?
Looking for clues?
No, yeah, but like you're like going around, you're talking to like Vinny who works at the bar and
Gathering evidence.
Yeah, but there's like whatever. You guys don't read detective books. All right. Next email. Let's move on.
Okay.
So this one is from Jacob. Is the dowsing machine being replaced? A few weeks ago, or however long it was, Stoutland was revealed to be a rideable Pokemon. In the trailer showing it off, it looked like it was being used to find items, as evidenced by the exclamation mark above its head. If that turns out to be true, then it could mean that the dowsing machine is being replaced. I personally think this is a stupid idea because you're replacing a small, easy-to-use item that you hold in your hands, or in Oros's case, on your head, lol, with a bulky Pokemon that probably can't fit into tight spaces. Not to mention, you seem to have to call on it every time you want to look for items. I'm also not sure if Pokeride can be used indoors, which would make searching for hidden items in caves annoying. Do you guys think that Stoutland is going to replace the dowsing machine? If not, then what other purpose would it serve? Perhaps it's only a side ability and not its main one. What are your thoughts on this? Hashtag keep the dowsing machine, hashtag Team Mystic, hashtag I actually don't have Pokemon Go, hashtag too poor to own a smartphone, hashtag long email, hashtag not actually long, hashtag I don't use full screen mode when writing emails, hashtag too many hashtags. It's not a long email. It's like 4 sentences, just so you know. But here's the thing, just real quick. I'm sorry. I don't want to walk over what you're saying, but I just want to say one thing real quick that I say a lot. Don't make up things and then criticize them. Just be careful. I'm not saying you're being a bad dude or you're doing something totally nasty, but it sounds like you're creating problems that you don't know exist or not. And I bet you if they do replace the dowsing machine, that they're going to do so because there is some efficient solution. For example, perhaps all you have to do is be like, maybe you only have to be on the screen where the secret is, and then you call Stoutland and he shows up and he's like, it's right there, bam. You know what I mean? Like, that's a way that it could be better.
Also, the what is it called? The trainer challenges on the island challenges. They seem to involve
Pokemon.
Some of the Pokemon that you are going to be riding as well, and so it's possible that the clip that shows Stoutland like finding an item is you on a collect quest for your island challenge.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like the Pyukumugu when you're like tossing him back into the ocean. Maybe it's something like that, but you use Stoutland for that.
Yeah. But I just want to, this is not directly directed at you, Jacob, by any means, but just think about like speculating about something good about a game in the future versus speculating about something bad that may be in the game. Like, there's no positivity that speculating about that bad thing is going to create. You know what I mean? It's either going to be like, oh, like they didn't do that and I begrudgingly accept that I was, and then you feel like you were wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that feels crappy. Or it is like that and you're like, I knew it was going to be bad, and then you're going to focus on that instead of anything good about the game. So
Yeah.
whenever I speculate,
Well,
I try and keep it positive because it makes more sense to do that because I just don't know the answers, and making up problems is just how stress happens.
Yeah.
what
Stress out the dog right now.
That's what anxiety is. Wallace, what's going on, bud? He's all right. He's gonna be okay. I think he just felt like he was left out. I think he thinks we forgot about Dre, but we didn't. It's okay.
We didn't forget about Dre.
You can't forget about Dre. Not with that catchy song to remind us. Hey, Wallace, calm your boys. Calm the jimmies. Unrustle those jimmies. Do you hate that meme because it has your name in it?
No, not really. Actually, I mean, it was funny at the time. Of the two gorilla-based memes that I know, it's one of the better of the two.
The worst thing is that another gorilla died like yesterday.
And now, really?
Yeah, now there's Bantu, and he died because they were moving him from one zoo to another, and he just like had a heart attack while he was on sedatives. It's super sad.
Oh,
but
no.
it's even worse for him because he's like a really photogenic gorilla.
Uh-huh.
And so now there's bleeps out for Harambe and bleep that starts with a B out for Bantu.
Great.
So now there's two bleeps that I can't say. One of them is just balls, though. I can say balls. We'll say balls. I'm going to make the executive decision on balls. We're going to say balls as many times as possible. Balls, balls, balls. Anyway, this is the anime theory from Kieran. Hey, to all the Dex team, I love the stellar work you guys do. I know it may be a bit soon, but I find myself thinking about what may happen in the Sun and Moon anime. In particular, I've been wondering what Alolan Pokemon our heroes may be getting. Below are a few ideas I've thought up. I love this. See, positive speculation. Of course, Ash will most likely get at least one starter and the beginning bird, Picky Peck, in this case. I think he'll have Poplio and possibly Litten, with Rowlet going to the new companion character. I also think Crabrawler would be a good choice for him, too. I want Crabrawler to be James's Pokemon because it's all about like getting on top of stuff, and the fact that like it would like climb his body all the time would be hilarious. But Kieran has me covered though, don't worry. With it being such a huge feature, at least one Alolan form Pokemon will be on the team. Of course it will. Team Rocket will get a Salandit for Jesse and a Beware for James.
Oh my gosh.
Beware for James would be perfect. I take back my thing about Crabrawler, but Crabrawler would be a pretty good one for James too.
Yeah.
We'll have at least a cameo from a returning companion, either May or Dawn, who will catch an Oricorio for contests. And anyway, those are just my ideas. Would love to hear what you guys think. Hashtag the Dex, hashtag Team Moon, hashtag Popley Bros, hashtag sorry for long post, hashtag not really. I don't know if that means that you're not really sorry that it was long, which it isn't, or you don't actually think it's long, which you are correct about. Hashtag Sigilif Dex, please. All the best, Kieran.
Hashtag keep Serena.
You want Serena back?
I like her a lot. I got that more so than any of Ash's other companions. I
Misty?
really
Brock?
I mean, like that. Well, that's different, but
No, it's not.
it's different.
It's
It's
different.
different.
All right.
It's different.
All right, whatever.
More so than any other like character that has like an arc in the Pokemon anime aside from Ash. Serena like actually seems like a real character to me. Whereas like, you know, Dawn and May just like don't to me. That's fine if you really identify with them. But I just thought like Serena had such like a good journey that I want to see her continue to be successful, and I want to see her stay in the anime more so than like other characters.
There you go.
But
I think other than that, most of the assessments seem pretty spot on. I mean, as far as speculation
They
goes,
feel very anime-y.
Yeah, I feel like you have identified the patterns in which they cover their bases every season. Which, you know, that's not a negative towards Pokemon. They have a new audience every season, so they have to like restate a lot of things. I think Ash will probably get Rowlet. I think.
Really?
Because in Gen 6 he had Greninja. I think they're gonna rotate types.
Oh, that's possible. I think he's gonna get Popplio. I think that's the Ash.
Maybe.
I think that's the Ash looking one because he's so proud. But,
that's true.
But I don't know. I really don't know. I doubt he's gonna have Litten.
Yeah.
Litten is so like
Litten seems a little dark for him.
he seems like so much like what one of the sidekicks is gonna have, who's like has an understanding with the Litten, but the Litten's kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
That's like how I feel like it's gonna be. But anyway, I don't know. I really don't watch the anime that much, but everything that you said sounds very anime-y.
Yeah.
And again, Jacob, I really don't want you to feel like I'm trying to pick you out. It's just I had to talk about it during somebody's email. It has nothing to do with you. I'm happy that you write in. It's all good. Don't even trip. Hashtag
Yeah.
bros.
Anytime I want to tweet about something that's like a thing that I want to just say, I always have to like look around and make sure that I'm not like
Right, like
that someone
responding
hasn't
to someone.
just done it. Yeah, because then I don't want to be like, this person just made me upset. Like, it's not that kind of situation. It's just
not.
like a reminder, like, oh, I wanted to talk about this real quick.
It's not. And I'm really actually talking about a whole other thing that you probably won't even remember exists by the time this podcast goes live, that like put that in my head. So don't even trip. This next one comes from, what does he want me to call him? I'm just going to go with what he says. Total Justice Gaming. Steel Trainer Joe needs help. Yo guys, longtime listener and I think first time writer. Might have sent one to you guys before, not sure. Anyways, I love Steel type with Aggron as preferred Pokemon partner since its release. I'm finally taking the leap in the TCG format of Pokemon, and I was wondering if you had any pointers for a good metal deck. I've been doing my research and saw that the awesome Bronzong is no longer legal. It's true, he just rotated out as of as of the airing of this episode, it's going to be September 1st, so that was yesterday. Bronzong is no longer legal, and since you guys are so awesome, I was wondering if you had any pointers for a new TCG player who just loves his heavy metal. Well, I don't do the hashtags. I am with Team Litten, though my newest Aeron will come along for the ride as well. I bred a new Aeron for my last Aggron each game, so it's a long family line of Aerons and Agrons starting from their first appearance.
Cool.
That's great.
Dope. Okay, so this is just me being like a nub. Frosh Soft. I haven't played this game for like 2 years, really, fully, but I do know that metal is taking a big hit in general across the board with the advent of Steam Siege rolling out and that being so fire-centric, but also because Bronzong is going away. So if I did get a Steam Siege deck, though, recently that's called Gears of Fire, and that might be a place for you to start just because you're going to get some actual physical cards in your hand that are pretty cool. Kind of has a don't beat 'em, join 'em approach of having a steel fire deck. And it has Volcanions in it, and it has Klinklangs in it. And the Klinklang is crazy. I don't know if this is actually true, but even if it's not true, it is pretty good. It has a move called Spinning Wheels or something like that. And it's what the move does is it like you use it once and it does like 70 damage. And then if you use it like subsequently, it does like 70 more damage. It says, I'm trying to find like the actual card.
Oh, so it's like echoed voice. There's some cards that like you use it once and then you use it twice, and it does.
I'm trying to read
double
the
it.
verbiage though on the card because I want to see if it's every single time or not.
Oh, like it compounds?
Yeah, so here I'm looking at it right here. This is the Steam Siege one. Any damage done to this Pokemon by an opponent's attack is reduced by 10 for each colorless energy in your opponent's Pokemon's retreat cost. So that's already good. So imagine it has like 4 retreat cost. Like it does 40 less damage every move that hits this Klinklang, and it has 140 HP, which is pretty good.
Dang.
That's not bad.
And then Gear Spinner. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Gear Spinner attack does 70 more damage. So...
so that just means it's like Hyper Voice.
It seems open-ended, right?
It seems open-ended, but I have a card that does that. It's I think it's an Cloud card where you use Hyper Voice and then you use Hyper Voice the next turn. It's 50 and then you use it again and it does 100 and then it does 100 every other time that you use it. As long as you keep using it in succession. But if you use the other move and then go back to Hyper Voice, it does 50 again.
Well, even if it does 140 at max, that's still pretty...
That is pretty good.
That's still pretty buff. I mean, I don't know like top tier stuff about steel type decks because it's just not really something that I'm thinking about right now. I know there's a Cobalion card in Steam Siege that's like all right. But yeah, that thing's pretty cool. I have a couple of those in my millions of cards that I've received in the past couple days.
Right.
But it's cool. I think it could be a good place for you to start. Gears of Fire is what it's called. All right. Next one comes from Gus. It's called Hey Alex, Pick This One.
Congrats.
Hey, this guy also gives you like some benefit of the doubt. Hello, Alex, Kellz, probably Jimmy, and maybe guest. You guys are thebomb.com. One of my favorite parts about the Pokemon series is the replayability of the games. I've been replaying lots of Pokemon games over the summer with the goal of playing through as many as I can before Sun and Moon come out in November. So far, I've played through Yellow on Virtual Console, X, White, White 2, Platinum, XD, Gale of Darkness, and I recently just started Soul Silver. My question for you guys is this. What is your favorite game in the entire series to replay? For me, it is a tough choice between Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Black 2, White 2. Love you guys. Can't wait to hear your choices. Hashtag help me, I can't stop playing Pokemon. Hashtag sorry for the long email, even though this wasn't a long email. Got me there. Hashtag sorry for the long hashtags. Gus.
Favorite to replay? I would say it's probably Soul Silver.
Yeah, I was gonna say Heart Gold.
I like
Because
Heart
I have
Gold.
that one.
I like Heart Gold. I also like just like regular Gen 4. Like Pearl, Platinum, any of those.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Those are
just feel-
there's just a lot to do in those games.
I feel like we all universally like Gen 2 like as our favorite, if not one of our favorites, and that was still in the right time where like quality of life in game is high enough versus like how old it is to be like replaying it.
Right, it's not like watching a black and white movie.
Right, yeah. Like, because I mean, I think we all tried playing Red, Blue, or Yellow when those came out on Virtual Console, and it's a rough ride.
It's
And
just
even up to
long.
like
It's hard
Gen
and long.
3, like I think Gen 4 is like close enough to like still be fun to
It
go
feels
back.
modern, yeah. It feels like a modern game, which is weird that it's going to be the next one to be remade, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe not, though. Who knows? We'll see what happens with the NX.
Yep.
Maybe we have no idea how cool that's going to be.
Maybe.
But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would say Heart Gold Soul Silver is probably my favorite to replay.
Yeah,
The
definitely,
Pokemon follow you around.
Gen 4. Definitely Gen 4, but I don't know whether I want to say the remakes or the real games because there's just so much to do in Gen 4. There's just so much.
Pokemon
The
Snap.
Pokemon follow you around.
Yeah, so rich, so good. Anyway, thank you for that email. The next one comes from a not-so-ace trainer. I'm not judging him. That's what he wants me to call him. A mega question. Hey, the Dexcast. I've been thinking a lot about if megas are actually going to come back in Sun and Moon and what new megas I would want. So my question is, what are some Pokemon each of you want to see mega evolve? Mine would be Luxray, Rampardos, and the best Pokemon ever, in my opinion, for Alligator. He needs to get the love he deserves. Hashtag way better than Typhlosion. Or he actually
Dang.
writes Typlosion, which probably just speaks to the fact that he doesn't even think about him that much.
Dang.
So, yeah.
Double roasted.
Yeah.
How about we put this in an Alolan context since I feel like we have answered this in the past a couple times, but like not to say that like, you know, how about we do it like in considering the Alola region, what Pokemon do you think would be cool for megas in the Alola region?
Well, I think universal answer is going to be Tropius.
Yeah, Tropius all day.
I think that's a good one. I want Blossom too. A Mega
That'd be pretty
Blossom.
cool.
The best thing for
Tropius.
Tropius. The best thing would be like if he like his bananas become much more prominent.
Or maybe his neck grows like 30 feet.
Or maybe he has pineapples because he's in Hawaii. But
Maybe Tropius becomes like a pineapple like head what is it? Like the
what?
like
What?
the like you know the
You're
like
looking at
those
me like
hats-
I should know what
like
to
the
say.
Chiquita banana woman with the basket of fruit all over her head, and maybe like Tropius is like has a basket of fruit and pineapples on his head instead.
Like
with
he has like a head wrap on.
yeah, and he's like yeah.
And he has like a dress on.
Mm.
All right, that's fine. The Chiquita banana lady, that's pretty perfect. I would love that. Obviously, all the starters. Any starter, I would be happy to see with a mega.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, can you imagine Mega Torterra?
Dude, I love Torterra.
Mega Torterra would just be another island in Alola.
It's just a on the back. There's like a building and like some small people. That's so weird, actually. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who else besides the obvious like all those guys. Maybe like I would love to see Raticate get one.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, any of the underutilized stuff I think would be pretty interesting to see. Raticate's a really good option. Furo maybe.
Tauros. But who in like other gens? I don't know. Maybe like Kricketune would be a cool one. I don't know. Every Pokemon.
Yeah. Give me
What's the beautiful one called?
I want to see an
Beautiful.
Alolan Scyther.
No, why can't I think of it? Phoebus evolves into
Melodic.
Melodic. Mega Melodic would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time. I think we've hit that time where it's time for one more email.
Sure.
This one is from, I'm not even going to tell you what it's from. Who it's from. The subject header is lots of cool stuff.
Ooh.
Oh.
Actually, no, I'm going to tell you. It's from the Good Note guys.
Hey.
Howdy, Dexcast. Before we get started with this email, we want to bring you up to speed on what we've been up to. It's been just over a year since the release of Critical Capture. That's their album of Pokemon jazz music. And it's not long now until we release our next album, Indigo Horizons.
Hey.
We'll be releasing it in all the usual places, iTunes, Bandcamp, Spotify, Amazon, etc. In addition, all of our patrons on Patreon will have access to the album before its full release date, which reminds us, we totally have a Patreon now. We don't have an official release date yet, but expect the album to drop sometime in November.
Cool.
Now that that's out of the way, we're happy to present Route 203 from Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Ooh. We absolutely love the Route music from the Sinnoh games, me too, as longtime listeners will know, and it was just so much fun bringing our style to another one. We put heavy emphasis on the long jam sections near the loop point. Thanks to everyone who turned out to our streams to help us arrange this new piece. As always, we stream Monday nights and Thursday nights, and coming soon, Saturday nights. Also, now we're streaming Pokemon gameplay. We've been working our way through a mod of Soul Silver called Storm Silver, and we're planning on streaming our first journey through Sun and Moon when that game drops. You can always reach us at our Twitter at GoodNoteGuys, and all of our music is available at thegoodnoteguys.bandcamp.com. Plus, you should check out our Patreon for all kinds of sweet rewards at patreon.com/thegoodnoteguys. Thanks for everything, guys, and sorry for the long email. It wasn't long, but we'll make up for it for this here long song. Keep killing it, Alex, Ryan, and Nikki, the Good Note Guys.
Awesome.
Cool,
Yay!
guys. And guys, before we close out today, I just want to thank you guys for being with us for so long. Thank you for helping us get back on our feet for a little bit there. We had to take care of con season, and now we're back full force. We got videos coming out all day, every day. So not every day. Don't listen.
No, we don't put out 7 videos a week.
A lot of the days, and hopefully someday we will put out videos even more often. I've been talking with some peeps. We've got some plans in place. Things are happening. People are moving, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you for listening. I've been Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Kellz.
And taking us out with the Route 203 from Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. It's the Good Note, guys. Good night, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Later,